The fourth gate is the gate Youthful Folly. It's a wonderful name. And it is the gate of formalization. Now, the fourth gate is in the Ajna Center, and of course the Ajna Center is our conceptualizing center. Whenever we're dealing with mental conceptualizing, we're dealing with two things. One is the way in which the mind itself operates, but also understanding the mechanics of how the not-self mind operates. Remember something about the basic difference between the defined or undefined ajna. The defined ajna has a consistency in the way in which the mind conceptualizes. So there is a certainty that comes with the consistency. In other words, one is able to go over and over the same ground, as an example, and to, reassess and re-look at and codify and solidify one's concept, because there's always a consistent flow of the information. But the moment that you're dealing with an undefined ajna center, then you're dealing with a lack of consistency. And of course, given that we live in the illusion of a mental world, particularly the not-self world of the mind, that the way in which we raise our children is that we raise our children to have a consistent mental process, whether they're defined that way or not, which can be terribly confusing. In other words, we condition our children with open ajna centers to pretend that they have fixed or defined ajna centers. Now, of course, they may give that impression on the surface because that's what is expected of them, but that's going to lead them to be very unstable mentally, because they're going to see for themselves that within, the moment that they're out of the aura of the conditioning force, that they do not have this certainty. The open ajna center for the not-self being, this is one of the most powerful negative forces in the life. This is the mind that pretends that it's certain, and pretends that it's certain to a point that it even believes that it's certain. And of course, ultimately, that leads to all kinds of problems. So when we're dealing with the fourth gate, we're dealing with a logical gate. It's in the logical stream. It's harmonic gate, the 63, the gate of doubt, is there to provide questions about the future. And the fourth gate as a formalizing gate, is there to try to figure out logically what an answer could be. It's interesting that the thematic for the fourth gate is the energy to beguile and succeed despite ignorance. Freedom from retribution. Now, the freedom from retribution is fascinating. What it really is talking about is that the basic logic is the only thing that truly protects us. Basic logic. And it's only those very, very basic formulas that if we grasp them, we have a chance to succeed. In other words, we have a chance to be properly organized, and we have a chance to be able to move into the future and be protected. So one of the basic things about the nature of formula is that the formula of the fourth gate is all about simply protecting oneself. Protecting oneself from punishment, protecting oneself from the environment, protecting oneself from the demons of the future, whatever you want to look at in terms of the, what you need to be protected from. This is what the core of conceptual logic is about. It's about that protection. Now, obviously, if you have the fourth gate in a defined ajna center, you're constantly coming up with formulas. You're constantly coming up with formulas that you think will protect you from retribution. Constantly coming up with formulas that you think will allow you to move without resistance. And again, you can see the work of logic. It's logic's work to protect our way into the future. It's logic that's here to guide us into the future in as safely a manner as possible, so that we can survive as a species. Now, if you have an undefined ajna center with the fourth gate, the conditioning on you is the conditioning that others are going to be able to condition you to believe that you have a formula that is going to protect you in the future. Or that there is a formula that you have that will protect others in the future. Or there's a formula that you accept is the way, and that you're certain of it. And all of this can be conditioned out of the undefined ajna. And remember something about the open centers and the way they work in decision making. That is, before you will make a decision, this open ajna center, what it's going to do is that it's going to try to pretend that it's certain about what the answer is, whether it is or it isn't. This is the thing we have to do. We have to do this. We're going to do this now. This is going to be the great success. We're really going to do this. Whoa. What a risk. And then you get to see why there is so much folly in youthful folly. The 49th gate.